In today's video, I'm going to share with you 30 types of low and no content books that you can create. Now, stick around and watch all of the video because nearer the end of the video, I'm also going to share 4 different resources where you can get interiors from. So, book type number 1, and that's trackers. Now, right here is a mood tracker journal, but there's lots of different types of trackers that you can create. Now, the idea of these trackers is just that, is to track. So you could do a mood tracker journal. You could do a food tracker journal. You could also do a weight tracking journal. There's lots of things on Amazon that people are looking to track, and you can create trackers around them. Now, I have an example here of a mood tracker. If we scroll down to around about here, we can see what that looks like. So for this one, this is a mood tracker. So you're going to be tracking your hours slept, your energy level, your mood, and lots of great stuff. But again, that's the idea of trackers, and that's to track whatever it is that you want to track. But that's the first one, trackers. Number 2, and that's ledgers. Now, there's lots of different types of ledgers that you can create, the biggest one being an accounting ledger. So this is what the book looks like. If we scroll down, we can see what this looks like as well. And as we can see, it's very simple. In fact, something like this could be easily created within Canva. But that's the second type, and that's ledgers. Book number 3, and that's composition notebooks. One of my favourite books to create. Now, if we come over to Amazon and scroll down, because we can't see the second page, if we come down to round about there A+, you can see what it looks like inside. Composition notebooks are very simple to create, as they're just lines on a paper. Book number 4, and that's primary composition notebooks. So when it comes to primary composition notebooks and your standard composition notebooks, they're completely different. Now, a standard composition notebook, ideally, is for older children, whereas a primary composition notebook is for younger children, and there's usually a space for drawing. So if we scroll down to here, we can see on the interior pages, on the inside, there's normally a place for drawing and a place to practice writing. So that's book number 4, and that's primary composition notebooks. Book number 5, and that's kids' story journals. Now, story journals and primary composition notebooks are very similar. They're just 2 different ways that you can target your keywords, because if we scroll down to here, we can see very similar to a primary composition notebook. You have a place for drawing and a place for practicing writing. Book number 6, and that's planners. Now, when it comes to planners, there's so many different ways or so many different types of planners that you can create. Now, if you come over to Amazon and start typing in planner, daily planner, weekly planner, then you're going to come across lots of great ideas. So all I've typed in is daily planner. We can see teacher planner, academic planner, daily planner, budget planner. If you come over to Amazon again, just start typing in your main keyword of planner, and then do daily planner, weekly planner. You're going to come across so many great ideas. Book number 7, and that's logbooks. Now, logbooks are another one with so many different types of niches, and they're relatively easy to create. Now, this one's a mileage logbook. In fact, a mileage logbook for taxes. If we come down to round about here, we can see how simple the interior is. All they have is the make, model, year. Then the date, start, end, total, and destination / purpose. So again, something like this would be relatively easy to actually go ahead and create within Canva. Book number 8, and that's colouring books. Now, colouring books aren't technically a low content book, as that's what KDP actually states, but with me I still class them as a low content book, so that's why they're on the list. Now when it comes to colouring books, there's so many different types of niches that you can create colouring books for. If we come over to Amazon and just type in colouring books, you're going to get lots of great ideas. Now, if you want to know more about colouring books, then we have quite a few great videos on the channel. What I'll do is link one right there in the right hand corner so you can go through and watch. Now, when it comes to colouring books, there's lots of great niches. You can create your colouring books around passions, hobbies, sports. There's lots of different great ideas, and that's why they're on this list. Book number 9, and that's activity books. So, just like colouring books, there's lots of different great niches, and if you come over to Amazon and type in activity book, we can see 8 to 12, 4 to 8, for adults, for kids, for toddlers, dot markers activity book. Now with activity books, this is another one where there's literally thousands of niches. Think of sports, hobbies, animals. All these different things are niches, and you can create your activity books around them. You could also do a Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving. There's lots of great ideas when it comes to activity books. Book number 10, word search books. Now, word searches are pretty simple. If we scroll down, I think we all know what a word search actually looks like, but if we scroll down to here, we can see. So with word searches, again, there's going to be lots of different ways that you can create your books around. Book number 11, and that's dot to dots. Now, if we come over to Amazon, scroll down, we can see what the dot to dots look like. Most people know what dot to dots look like as well, and I'm pretty sure there's a few different softwares on the market which can actually help you create your dot to dots. But that's book number 11. Book number 12, and that's puzzle books. Now when it comes to puzzle books, you can have a mixture of lots of different activities. And you can create them for adults, kids, teens. You can have a mixture of lots of different puzzles as well. This one is mainly for word searches, as we can see just here. But puzzle books are a big one. Book number 13, and that's kids learning books. Now with kids learning books, there's lots of different books that you can create. This one is sight words and spelling. So when it comes to learning books, think of counting, think of spelling, think of maths. There's lots of different learning books for kids that you can actually go ahead and create. Now again, this one's sight words and spelling. So if we scroll down, we can see what that interior looks like. So the first page is letter tracing. That would be another type of learning books. But that's book number 13, and that's kids learning books. Book number 14, and that's blank recipe cookbooks. Now, a blank recipe cookbook is just that. It's blank. It's a book where you can put your own recipes. Now, if we scroll down to this page just here, we can see the recipe name and then the page number. So if we take a look further down, I don't think we can see it. Yes, we can. Right here. Now, what you need is just a place to write down the recipe. So we have the recipe name, prep time, cook time, total time, ingredients, serves, and directions. So again, something like this is actually relatively easy to create within Canva. Book number 15, and that's guest books. So guest books are another one with so many different types of niches within the guest book niche. Now, if we come over to Amazon, and let's take a look at this one. This is just a watercolour, guest book, floral, rustic. So if we scroll down to here, these guest books are very simple to create. Usually, it's just a place for a name, and then a note. So we can see that just here, and then that's going to be duplicated throughout the book. But guest books are very simple to create. In fact, I think we have a video on the channel about creating guest books, so what I'll do is link it right there in the right hand corner so you can go through and watch. Book number 16, music composition notebooks. Now if we come over to Amazon, we can see what this actually looks like, because it's not a composition notebook, it's just manuscript paper. Or should I say blank manuscript paper, and as we can see it's going to be the same throughout the book. Now this is actually pretty easy to create as well. Something like this interior you can actually get from Tangent templates. Book number 17, and that's dot grid journals. Now, dot grid journals are another very simple book that you can create. If we take a look here, it's just dots on a page. Now, this is also known as bullet journaling, but that's one word that you do not want to use, and that's bullet journal, because that's trademarked. So if you want to create a dot grid journal or a dot grid notebook, call it just that, a dot grid, because if you call it a bullet journal, you can get into a lot of trouble further down the line. Book number 18, and that's sketchbooks. Now, sketchbooks are relatively easy to create as well, because they're practically blank pages. Now, if we scroll down, we can't actually see the inside of the book. But one thing I want to note really quick, and that's if you're trying to create a sketchbook, you can't have 4 consecutive blank pages in a row. Amazon or KDP does not like that. Now, if you are going to create a sketchbook, have numbers on the page, so you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, or a border round the outside like this. That's the only way that you can actually create sketchbooks. Book number 19, and that's notebooks. Now, when it comes to notebooks, it gets a lot of bad rap, mainly because they're so easy to create. Now remember, the easier it is to create a book, the more competition that there's going to be. And for notebooks, they're relatively easy to create. Now, if you are going to create notebooks, try and do something funny. So if we take a look at this one says all the things I was right about. Now, when it comes to notebooks, simple and funny sell. So something like this, quite funny and very, very simple. Then if we take a look at the interior, very simple again, because it's just lines on a page. Book number 20, and that's cursive handwriting books. So if we take a look at this, these are fairly simple as well. If we scroll down to round about here, we can't actually see the inside. So in fact, let's just look at the cover instead, because with cursive handwriting workbooks, you obviously need the pages like this to where you can practice that cursive handwriting. Book number 21, number tracing books. So this is another great niche. Now if we scroll down, take a look at the inside. Can we take a look? Yes, we can. So this is where children are going to practice their numbers and their writing. Now if we take a look, very simple to create and has lots of great niches, and that's book number 21, number tracing books. Book number 22, and that's math workbooks. Now recently an amazing tool come on the market where you can easily create math workbooks. I did create some videos about it, so I will link it right there in the right hand corner, because the math workbooks niche is absolutely massive. Now with math workbooks you can do subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, fractions. All these are niches within the math book niche. And if we scroll down to here, we can see what the interior is like. And with the software which recently came out, again, I've linked a video right there in the right hand corner. Go through and watch it. But with that software, you can make math workbooks relatively easy. But again, there's so many different types of niches when it comes to math workbooks. Book number 23, and that's scissor skills. So this type of book is for kids. It's for them to practice their scissor skills. So right here we can't actually see the inside, I don't think. Let's scroll down. No, we can't. But with this, you're going to have animals, graphics within the book, and then what they want to do is cut around to practice their scissor skills. But this is a great niche, one that I have wanted to get into for quite some time, but I haven't. But nonetheless, it is a great niche. Book number 24, and that's journals. Now, when it comes to journals, you can create them for absolutely everything. This one is a journal for slowing down, letting go, and loving who you are. If we come over to here and just type in journal, we can see there's a self-care journal, a journal about creating a happy life. There's so many different types of journals that you can create on KDP. Book number 25, and that's an address book. Now, with address books, they're actually pretty simple to create. All you need is a space so people can put in addresses. So right here, they have a place for the phone book, so the name and phone. If we scroll down to here, we can then see that address log. And if we look, something like this, again, is going to be pretty simple to create, and you can create this within Canva. Book number 26, and that's graph paper. Now, if we come over to Amazon and take a little look, this graph paper is really easy to get. You can get them on websites like the ones which I'm about to share nearer the end of the video. But if we take a look throughout the book, very, very simple, because it's just graph paper. Book number 27, and that's knitting paper. So, if we come over to here and take a look, we can see this is what the interior looks like. Again, very simple to do because it's the same throughout the book. Now, an interior like this, you can actually get this in tangent templates. But that's book number 27, and that's knitting paper. Book number 28, and that's blank comic books. So, over here on Amazon, if we take a look, these comic books or blank comic books are relatively easy to create. As we can see that just here, it's just boxes on a page, and then you want each page to look slightly different. Now, something like this can be easily created with the self-publishing titans' new tools that they have. Book 29, and that's review books. So right here we had one for wine reviews. If we take a look at this book, we can see what it looks like. Now, I speak about review books because wine review is one of the ones that you can do. So you can do wine, you could do a beer review, you could do coffee review, you could do a book review. There's lots of different types of review books that you can create. Book number 30, and the last one which I want to share, and that's guitar tab notebooks. So, if we come over to here to Amazon, we can see what the interior looks like, and if we scroll down to here, it's going to be mainly like this. Now, something like this, I believe, you can get in tangent templates. But that's the last book which I wanted to share with you. That was book number 30, and that's a guitar tab notebook. So that's all 30 which I wanted to share with you. Start diving deep into these to see if any take your fancy and to see if you want to create books around these books. Now, these 30, I have them just here, so you might want to pause the video so you can see them all. But we have notebooks, journals, composition notebooks, primary compositions, kids story journals, planners, logbooks, colouring books, activity books, word search books, dot to dots, puzzle books, kids learning books, blank recipe books, guest books, music compositions, dot grids, sketchbooks, trackers, cursive handwriting, number tracing, math workbooks, scissor skills, ledgers, address book, graph paper, knitting paper, blank comic books, review books, and that guitar tab notebook. So that's 30 types of low and no content books that you can create. Now, with that out of the way, where can you go ahead and get some interiors for these books? Well, the first one being Creative Fabrica. If you come over to here, go to graphics, come to KDP Interiors, they now have 124,000 plus interiors. So right here, if you start looking round, you can find what you need for the book type that you want to create. If you can't, just use their search bar up here. But that's the first place, Creative Fabrica. The second place being Tangent Templates, because they have a lot of stuff here. As we can see, there's graph paper, dot grids, composition notebooks, story paper, and look, there's that guitar tabs as well. That's the second place, tangent templates. Third place being self-publishing titans, because they've just released this brand new awesome software which is completely free, and you can create notebooks, graph pages, comic books. So if we click on here, this is where we can create those blank comic books. Then the last place is BookBolt, because they do also have an interior generator, and you can get all of these free interiors. So that's 4 places that you can get interiors for those 30 low content books. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also, go hit subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you can be notified for any further videos. That being said, I've been Paddy, this has been Stacking Profit, and I'll see you again soon.